Horoscopes by 1pkc.io, brought to you by Jeff Helkenberg.
Hello Virgo, this is your horoscope for the week of March 18th, 2019. Now currently the house of Virgo is empty this week, save for the moon, which will transit the house early in the week. Meanwhile, your ruling planet Mercury is in retrograde in Pisces. And so one of the things this week is that you just shouldn't try to fight it. You need to be open and receptive to ethereal knowledge. Now, this is the type of knowledge that never really takes a firm shape. It's always emotional. Rarely is it logical, but it can still be something that provides you with valuable information in terms of your life direction. And it's sort of more like intuition. It's more of a thing that you feel rather than you can put your finger on it. And so consequently, it's very difficult to describe. Now, one of the consequences of this, of being open and receptive to this type of information, is that you really have to allow your own mind to kind of work it over, to think it through, like what these things mean, what is intuition actually pointing at. It can be very difficult for you to get assistance on these kinds of questions. It's really generally an internalization, and you need to have the opportunity to work through it. Now, if you're in a position where you're being relied upon for fact details, really try to avoid situations where you have to be very, very logical. Avoid situations that are deterministic. And so that is obviously something that's easier said than done. If you're in a workplace situation and you have the opportunity to get away from your job for a little while, maybe take a day off if things seem really stressful, chances are they're going to be, because other people are experiencing things right now due to the energy and the signs and the retrograde. So there are some big things that are going on right now that are going to mess with communication. So you have to be very careful about how you're going to approach situations where you're being relied upon for critical information. There may be no escaping it. Just make sure that you're very conscious of what you're saying or what you're communicating. Make sure that it's as accurate as you can possibly be. And if you feel that it's an 80% answer or a 90% answer or anything that's less than, let's say, 99%, make sure you preface what you're telling people that, hey, on the outside chance, maybe this information is not going to be accurate, maybe it's wrong. It's going to be a tough week for you to really call your shots, because there's going to be information coming at you that's non-specific information. It's not going to be easy to decode, and it's going to eat up a lot of your brain bandwidth. So just be conscious of that this week and avoid situations to the best of your ability where you're being relied upon to think in a hyper-logical frame, because that's going to be very challenging for you this week. Now, for those of you who know your birth chart positions, here's a rundown of the other planets and our star. As you know, Mercury is in retrograde in Pisces, Venus is in Aquarius, Mars and Uranus are in Taurus, Jupiter is in Sagittarius, Saturn and Pluto are in Capricorn, Neptune is in Pisces where it joins the Sun, and the Moon starts the week in Leo, will move through Virgo and Libra, and will end the week in Scorpio. So again, Virgo, the message this week, you're going to be receiving very interesting information. It's going to be hard to decode. It's going to be coming from outside of you. It's going to feel like it's important. Go ahead and give yourself time to work through that information, really ponder it, think it through, and avoid situations where you're being called upon to do hyper-logical thinking, because that's going to be very challenging for you to pull off this week.